Welcome to 100% LCFC. My name is Phil. This is Monday night. It is the fan zone. Now, we've got loads and loads and loads of things to talk about. Obviously, we had quite a disappointing defeat away at Manchester United on Saturday. Get your views in, get your comments on that. I want to hear what you think about it. I'll let you know what I thought about it as well. I've got a few frustrations from Saturday, if I'm honest, but I want to know what you guys thought about our performance away at Old Trafford. Probably the best chance we've had in years to get some points there. We still didn't manage to do it. Hello to Karen Marino who's watching. Hi, Karen. Andy Young is watching as well. Get your views in, get your comments in. Let me know what you thought. Good evening, Stephen Price. Thanks for watching again. Terry, you're in early. What are you doing this early, Terry, watching? And Andy Price as well. Also, I've got Brother Will here with me, who we are drawing. I'll show you, look, we've got all those of you. Where's the shirt? Here's the shirt. We've been pushing this for a few weeks. It is for Will's charity that he's raising money for. Good evening, Jordan Williams and Mick Paget. Good evening to you. And Mark Gatwood, thank you. If you've had a go on this shirt, there's still just a few moments chance. We're going to draw this at the end of the show. It's a signed Leicester City shirt from last season. I think it's got about 20 odd players' signatures on it. I've put a link already in the comments, so hopefully you can click on that link. Will, have you got... Will's going to be stood here while I do the show live, and he's got all these sheets, haven't you, Will?
Yeah.
So show them.
So he's got these names.
So you've got everybody's names there who's had a go. If you've donated £1, basically your name is on there once. If you donated £5, your name's on there 5 times. So...
And I've got some blanks just in case anyone wants to donate in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, Martin Jarram's just been on and donated £5. So I don't know if you can see that. His name's on there 5 times. So well done, Martin. And we'll draw that in a minute. Will's going to be stood there cutting things up. Just before you do that, Will, what were your thoughts on Saturday's match against Man United?
It's a shame we didn't get anything out of it, but it's not to say it's the end. And hopefully next time against Spurs we can take a win. And Spurs are in Champions League on Wednesday, so hopefully an early kick-off on Saturday. That will mean they'll be not on the ball, so to speak.
We'll come back to Will in a minute. I'll pick Will's brains a little bit more. I'm going to use... Have you seen this? Will's found this scarf in the bottom of his old crusty cupboards at home. I'm going to do a competition on that because nobody got the pizza right on Saturday, so I have got some pizzas to give away later. I'm going to base the question on this scarf, but I won't quite say what the question is, but it's something to do with Wembley 1992. Anyway, Will, thanks for your amazing input. As ever, couldn't do anything without you, Will. Get cutting the things up there. Will is doing that. So if you wanted to have a go on that, please do click on the link and... And all the money, goes to the Leicester Royal Infirmary Neonatal Ward. Is that right, Will?
Yeah, neonatal unit.
Neonatal unit. Listen, let's get back to your comments. Joanna Astley, you're watching. Joanna, what did you think to Saturday? Get your views in. Brad Lingard, how are you, Brad? What do you reckon? I know Brad's name's in here. He's had about 20 goes, I reckon, hasn't he? So, I've seen your name in there. So, if you're going to win the shirt, Brad, we're drawing that at the end of this. Mick Paget says, let's get it back to the football. Mick says, disappointed. Not convinced it was a penno. Well, I think, Mick, it was a penalty, I'm afraid. I think Soyuncu's done what we've said all pre-season, and that he is liable to dive in. I think, what do you think? Do you agree with Mick? You're not sure it was a penalty? For me, I didn't think it was at the time, but I've watched it a few times. I think it definitely was a penalty. Do you agree with Mick or do you agree with me? David Barker's saying, please, can we stop playing 2 defensive midfielders, 2 DMs? David... I think you're probably right. I thought it might work against Man U. I thought we would play Ndidi and Chowdhury and suck them in, but then we'd hit them on the break. But John Squires, big point we're going to talk about here. John Squires says, Demarai Gray is rubbish. John Squires is not mincing his words there. He just thinks Demarai Gray is rubbish. What do you reckon, Will? Demarai Gray?
No, he's definitely got talent and he'll come good. Just don't know when he's going to come good.
Well, Will's saying he's got talent, he just doesn't know when he's going to get good. I'm not sure. For me, I just think Demarai Gray has got all the gear and no idea, if that makes any sense. Jordan Williams is saying it was definitely a penalty. Sam Perkins saying Rodgers set it up wrong. I think he did, a bit like against Wolves in the first game of the season. Just too defensive. Man United were there to have a go at. I'd rather lose than have had a go, and Just frustrating. Lesson Freer says we need wingers in January. Craig Jones, another big talking point. Craig is saying start Mark Albrighton. I would 100% agree with you. Mark Albrighton, as you lot know, is one of the first names on my sheet. And I would be playing him. Mark Gatwood is saying, I don't think it was. No VAR. 4 pens in 5 games. Dodgy. I'm sure it was VAR check, to be fair with you, Mark. I think they have to check penalties. Jordan Williams saying, I heard Rashford is still rolling on the pitch at Old Trafford. Listen, the penalty, it was a soft one, but Soyuncu did dive in. He really didn't need to dive in there. Mark Gatwood is saying Damari still needs to be a team player. Damari in the first half. Listen, I don't want to slate him too much, but he got the ball going into the United penalty area, right on the right-hand side of the penalty box. And he had the chance to, it was probably not the easiest shot to take a shot on. He really should have been crossing it in, but he sort of just rolled it. It was neither a shot nor a cross and went out for just a goal kick. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, he obviously scored his wonder goal at Old Trafford. What was it, 2 years ago, that wonder goal? Keith Goodall saying, of course it was a penalty. P.S. We're missing University Challenge for this. Sorry, Keith. You can go and watch it if you want, mate. You can go and watch it if you want. Don't forget, I'm plugging it big style tonight because this is your last chance to have a go on this. We're drawing this at about 8:55 today. So you've still got a chance to click on the link. If you have £1, your name's in the thing. Look, I'll pick the camera up. You can see Will is frantically cutting things away there. Putting you all into the hat, although it's not a hat, it's a bucket. So your chance to win that. Chaz Hawley saying, yes, I'd have Albrighton all day long. Terry Fuller saying, don't go on Radio 5 again. Did you hear that, Terry? I won that, I believe, on Friday morning with Robbie Savage. Jordan saying, great, come good. He's been here for 3 years. Get rid. Been saying he'll come good too many times. I think a lot of people, if Bournemouth came back and offered £25 million, let's do this. If Bournemouth was offered £25 million, give me a thumbs up if you would sell Demarai Gray, or if you'd want to keep Demarai Gray, give us a heart, and then we'll see where that goes. Will, you're a heart, no doubt.
Trust me, if we sell Gray and he plays for Bournemouth week in, week out, that's when he becomes like brilliant, and we go, we should never have sold him.
Can you see all those likes that are going up on the screen?
Yeah, is that sell Gray?
Sell Gray. I haven't seen one heart yet. I haven't seen anybody say keep Demarai Gray.
Apart from me.
Apart from Will. But anyway, listen. Stephen Price saying we need to stop playing players out of position. Where did Demarai Gray's start come from, by the way? I mean, it was a bit surreal to see that he'd suddenly made the starting team. He came on and had a decent last 15 minutes, 20 minutes against Bournemouth, but it's just strange that he was in the starting lineup. No Mark Albrighton, even Dennis Pratt. A couple of love hearts in there. Somebody loves Demarai Gray, which is fine. John Squires is saying always have Albrighton. Mick Paget saying I dropped my phone and half the Man United players fell over. Ref was bloody awful, says Andy Young. Listen, I don't want to point the finger at the ref. I don't think it was necessarily particularly great for us, but I think we have to look at ourselves on that. And I tell you what, don't want to be all doom and gloom on it, but my biggest frustration, 93rd minute, so it's injury time and you're 1-0 down and you get a corner. This is your last gasp chance. Casper bravely runs up. Idiotically runs up, bravely runs up, whatever you want to call it. He's running and he's just about getting in the box. And what do? A short corner. It's just idiotic. It's just, apart from the fact that we then lost the ball, so we didn't even get the ball in the box. That was just, why not create a chance? Last minute of the game, why not just put it in the box, whether Casper's there or not? But even more stupid to play a short corner when Casper isn't there, because the minute we've lost it, we're putting ourselves under pressure. And I come back to plan B. You know I've been saying it pre-season, and I'm going to carry on saying it. We don't have a plan B. We just don't have a plan B. And that's what I want to ask you guys is, Rodgers clearly has just a plan A and wants to plough on with plan A at all times. Do you think we should have a plan B at times, and do you think we should try it? Because for me, with 10 minutes to go in a match, when you're losing, you've got to try something different. We didn't use all 3 subs on Saturday. We haven't got a plan B. We don't bring another striker on. Harvey Barnes looked better than Damari Gray when he did come on, but I am just... How are we going to break into the top 6, top 4, if we can't break teams down and we can't change things up, is my question to you. Now, I'm going to read out your comments to all that. Gray Richardson saying, Phil, you've read my comments out on the short corner. Andy Young saying, Casper went mental at the corner. It's stupid. It's like, even if you play Sunday morning football, even you will. Short corners in the last minute.
Just don't do them.
You just don't do it. You know that. I know that. You just put it in the box. But I would say even with 10 minutes to go, we just pump it in the box. We need a Slimani. We need somebody to pump it into. Iheanacho, where is Iheanacho? Is he injured? Can anybody say where Iheanacho is? But he's just... We haven't got another striker to come on. Mick Padgett is saying we sold our plan B. Well, we sold plan B when we sold Leonardo Ulloa. I'd have rather had Ulloa on the bench for 10 minutes. But we've loaned out Slimani. Brad Lingard says, hate short corners, full stop. Always get the ball in the box. Get it in the mixer, Brad. That's what we're talking about. We had a chance in the 93rd minute to put the ball in the danger zone and maybe create a chance, a scuffle, a drop, down, whatever. But we didn't. We might as well have just, on that moment, just said, well, look, we'll finish it there. Now, no, if we'd have done a short corner, it gone in, we'd have all said amazing. But it didn't. It didn't go into the box. We didn't create a chance. And to be fair, we didn't create enough chances. Craig Jones has just said that. We used to at least have a plan B. It used to be great when we had Leo to shove on. I agree, you don't need... If you'd have kept Leonardo Ulloa at the club and said, look, Leo, you're only going to play every now and then, and you're only going to be our plan B, and you might get 10 minutes every third game, but that is what you are, I think he'd have stayed. Gray Richardson saying should have pulled Gray off at half-time and kicked in the dressing room and injured. Bit harsh, Gray. Terry is saying Rodgers did something different. He played to Puel's instructions. A lot of people have said that, Terry. A lot of people have said that was like watching a Claude Puel team. Trust me, you know I tried to support Claude Puel right till the end, till he got sacked. But if Claude Puel had have done those tactics against, a bit like we did against Wolves, and certainly against, like we did against Man U, you'd have all been at him. Aggie, hi Aggie, saying, what's happened to Iheanacho? I agree, Aggie. I do not know where Iheanacho is. He's just not making any appearances from the bench. Gray saying, don't get me started on Nacho. Tom, good evening, Tom, saying Maddison has to play number 10, not out on the left. He looks lost out there. We've been saying, Tom, how great Maddison is at that number 10 role. Struggling. Will, has anybody else had a go on the tickets?
Yeah, we've had another 25 quid.
Fantastic. Will, come back in. Are you doing some stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing some stuff.
Come back in. We're still giving away this shirt. Well, we're raffling it off for Leicester Royal. Here he is. Here's Will. Who's just had a go, Will? Whose names are you writing down?
Christine Gregory and D. Tomlinson have donated some money. So they're in the hat. That's £5 each. That's brilliant.
So that's good. That's D. Tomlinson and L. Gregory. They've had...
So we're up to £425. So
that's very
brilliant.
good.
Thank you very much.
So we'll be drawing this in a bit. How long have we got left, Will? What's the time?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes to have a go on that. If you want to. It's for the Leicester Royal Infirmary, but we'll be doing a draw live at the end. And, yes, we've got pizza to give away because nobody predicted that Leicester would lose 1-0.
Can I win the pizza?
You can't win the pizza, Will. You're never allowed to win it. Andy Young saying the seats at Old Trafford are a bit tight, still got sore knees. Dave Tompkins saying Gray is not a Premier League player, get rid. Ryan's watching. Ryan Sonley, what did you reckon, Ryan, to Leicester's game at Man United? We will turn this on to Spurs as well. But again, what do you think to my... You know I'm frustrated about a plan B, and I'm really frustrated when with 10 minutes to go we don't really chuck it into the mixer. I'm really annoyed when we play like that with that short corner right at the end. Now, Will, can I borrow your scarf, please? And I have to go down here and get... Because nobody won the pizzas. So I'm going to give these away. Now, Will's got this scarf. Where did you find this, Will?
I bought it.
You bought this?
But yeah, a long time ago. I found it in my sock drawer at the weekend.
We didn't want to look in Will's sock drawer, but that's where he found this, all with his you-know-whats. So the question to you guys. This is obviously a Wembley 92 shirt, playoffs. Scarf, yeah, scarf.
Scarf.
So, Will, what's the question to go with this?
I have no idea.
He has no idea because I'm going to make it up. The question is, to win 2 pizzas in today's show, is put in the comments the answer to which team did Leicester City play at Wembley in that 1992 playoff final. Okay? So, very simple. What team did Leicester play in 1992 at Wembley? And you can win some pizza because nobody got the competition right. And let's get back to, now what do you think about Spurs coming to Leicester? Like Will said, they've got Champions League on Wednesday. Do you know who they're playing, Will? Does anybody know who Spurs are playing? Who, sorry? Olympiacos. Well, they should be Olympiacos. Although
It's away as well.
It's away, so not a nice place to go. So Tom's saying we should have got a point on Saturday. Very silly penalty to give away. Has to stand the striker up, don't dive in. There was no need, was there, Tom? No need. Stephen Price is saying Blackburn Rovers. Gray Richardson is saying Palace. These are answers to the question, to the 1992 one. Christine Gregory is saying Cambridge 5-0. That was the semi-finals. I'm not sure if that was that year. Will's going to verify the answer anyway, at some point, because my memory is like I said, I think I know who it is. I could enter this. I've just made the question up, but I think I could enter this. I think I know who it is. Crikey. Chris Balls just saying David Speedy. Little cheat, little diver. I don't mind admitting it. I had tears in my eyes that day. You were there, weren't you, Will?
Yeah, I was there.
Will was about 3 at the match, probably.
I think I was 7 or 8. Actually,
This just shows what an idiot my brother is. The game is 1992. We know that. And he's trying to work out how old he was. He was born in 1981. And he's just said, I think I was 7 or 8. What an absolute spanner he is. Anyway, keep getting your questions in. What an idiot. Saturday, Spurs then. How do we set up against what will be a tough game? Spurs should be tougher than what we've just played against Man United. Again, Man United were there for the taking, in my opinion. They got a couple of players out. They were dodgy, and yet we just didn't do it. Mark Gatwood is saying we got to learn to break teams down that defend with 11 players if we're going to break into the top 6. I agree with you, Mark. Again, on Saturday, this is what I'm saying about a plan B. On Saturday, Man United go 1-0 up. They were still coming at us, but with about 25 minutes to go, they sat back and went, all right, we're going to defend. We'll let you have a go. And we just, again, didn't have the guile. I'm going to ask you another question here. Get your views on Yuri Tielemans. I'm not really sure where to start with Yuri Tielemans at the moment. Last season, I think we all thought, well, obviously, we all thought this guy's great. He's energetic. He's making cutting passes. What are your views on Yuri? Because it sort of feels a bit like he's got his move and he's turned down a gear maybe. That's all I can say is he's just eased back a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, he did put one or two nice passes through on Saturday, but he's sort of, that's game 5, isn't it? And I don't know, what do you think on Yuri Tielemans? For me, he's just not as good as he was last season, and I'm just hoping he's not the sort of player where he plays well to get the move and then it eases back. So really interested to know what you guys think about Tielemans. Brett Coombs, hi Brett, how are you? Brett's in the draw, we're doing that. I've seen your name in there, Brett. Thank you very much for having a go on the raffle. Look, literally, as I speak, Brett is cutting up all your names and putting them into the draw. We're going to do that later. Andy Price is saying, play the same team as Bournemouth. I know, you're right, Andy. Let the opposition worry about us for a start. I know, it feels like we're worrying too much about the other teams, and we've got the players. Craig Jones saying, Tielemans will come good. Give him time like we all have with Demari. I would, but Yuri, we've had him on loan since January. He's had time to bed in. He was playing well before the summer. Paul Spilling is saying Yuri can't play with 2 defensive midfielders. I think you could be right, Paul. it just isn't. It feels too much of a squeeze. Terry Fuller saying Perez is an even bigger disappointment. All right, Terry, yeah, let's have that conversation about Perez as well. Brad Lingard is saying Tielemans is quality. I definitely agree with you, Brad. I think he is, and we've all seen it, but just doesn't feel like he's playing as good, does it, at the moment? Tom Hoger saying Tielemans not started great, but we all know what he can do, and let's hope he comes good. But Tom, what do you think's going on with him at the moment? Why do you think he just isn't playing as well as he was last season, Tom? I'd be interested to know if you can put your finger on it. Karen Marino, hi Karen, saying I think Leicester need to get their mojo going again. Start Albrighton and bench Gray. I don't know why Gray did start, Karen, instead of Albrighton. Really don't. Brett saying he watched Belgium versus Scotland and Yuri looked a lot more creative for them. Brett, don't forget he was just playing a Sunday pub side though. Tom Bates saying we were better team Saturday. Let's be more positive. That's fair enough, Thomas, absolutely. Beena's watching. Hello, Beena. Mark Gatwood is saying play Madders as a number 10 only. Thanks for what creates the goals for us. He's not a left winger. Beena, I must go back to Beena and say thanks because Beena helped sort out this shirt that we're giving away today. So thanks, Beena, for helping sort that out for Will's charity. Still got a few moments left. How long have we got left, Will?
3 minutes.
3 minutes until... Look, you've got to cut faster, Will.
I'm trying, I'm cutting.
Get cutting. Quicker than that. He's so slow. Very, very slow, Will is, in many ways. Have you worked out how old you are yet in the 1992 playoff final?
I was 11.
He was 11. Don't forget the question is, who did we play in the 1992 Wembley Cup final?
And for fun, who scored the goal?
And for fun, who scored the goal, Will says. Do you know the answer now?
I do now, yeah. It's a great one.
Who scored the goal? Was it a sad day, Will?
Yes.
It was a sad day. There was a guy at Wembley sat behind us. I was sat on the last but one row in the old Wembley Stadium, worst seats ever, right at the back, and there was a bloke, because all the Leicester fans were on the piss all day, to be fair with you, and this bloke had come up, he was drunk as a skunk before the match started. He lay down on the chairs behind us on the floor and fell asleep for the whole match, and then woke up right at the end and said what was the score, which we'll tell you at the end, but he missed the whole match because he was that drunk. Paul Spilling saying let's go for Mitrovic in January. Yes, we should have gone. Well, listen, hey, it's not. We're not being doom and gloom, but we haven't got a plan B. Anthony Beebe is saying we were shocking. Rodgers got out coached by a third team coach, and the team got beat by a third string United. Jordan saying bench Gray. I wouldn't even pick Gray. Andy Young is saying careful. Not sure what on. Perhaps because it used a naughty swear. Terry's saying, and where was Pratt? I know, and another one is Dennis Pratt. He's sort of, we've seen fleeting glimpses of him, but not particularly breaking in. Tom saying, I think he needs to play high up. This is Tom's coming back to me on my question about Yuri Tielemans. Tom saying, I think he needs to play high up the path with Maddison, with Ndidi behind them both. Tom, are you sort of saying that you think that you can't have Hamza and Ndidi in the same side? Christopher Newbury is saying most frustrating thing is when he puts Madders on the right, it's so ineffective, and then changes position second half, and it's so good. Neil Yoxon is watching, Ernie Simmons, how are you? Mick Paget saying Blackburn Rovers, we lost to Mike New penalty, that's his guess for the competition. Anthony Beebe saying, why didn't Rodgers at least throw another up front with Vardy? I know, as far as I remember, we didn't use the third sub, Anthony. And we just, like you say, just felt like we didn't go for it. Joanna Astley, again, is having a go at the competition, saying, we lost to Blackburn, can't remember who scored, but didn't we sign him? Which could be Mike Newell. Jordan Williams is saying, sounds like me at United last weekend then, yeah, what with the swearing. Mark Gatwood's had a go on the competition. Jack Collins is watching. Andy Price is trying to wind me up by saying Mitrovic. And keep going on those guesses. We will draw that. Will is frantically cutting these competition things up live next to me. You got many more left to do? No. Don't start. You've got to check to see if anybody else has had a go as well. So, Mark Gatwood is going 1-0 to Blackburn. That's on the questions. Ernest saying he's good. What do you think about Saturday then? Before we draw these final competitions, I'll start by doing the pizza one in a minute, and then we'll do the shirt one because Will's still cutting things up. What do you think about Spurs on Saturday? How would you play? Would you play Hamza and Ndidi? There's a question for you. Put in the comments what sort of team formation you would put in there. I'm going to guess that most of you wouldn't play Demarai Gray, but would you start Mark Albrighton, or would you start Dennis Pratt maybe? Would you play on the defensive side against Spurs? Because trust me, they're good, they're going to come at us. How would you set Leicester up? And what on earth do we do if we're not winning a game with 5 or 10 minutes to go? Get your views in, get your comments in. Keith Goodall saying, Phil and Will, have you seen the film Twins? Just saying.
That means I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, doesn't it?
You think you're Arnold Schwarzenegger? That makes me Danny DeVito.
Short and fat.
Short and fat. Who said that? Let's go back to that. It's a cheeky one. It was Keith Goodall. Brett is saying, I'd start with just Hamza and go balls out of the bath and attack. Balls out of the bath and attack. How about that? Karen Marino is saying, right, Phil, no Gray. So Karen wouldn't have Demarai Gray in there. Mick Paget is saying, start Albrighton and Barnes. He'd have both of them in there. Harvey Barnes I think he's done enough last season and this season to be in the starting 11 as well. Craig Jones is saying, if Albrighton starts, I agree. Andy Young is saying we need to score at least 2. Son always scores against us, which he does. Harry Kane normally scores against us as well, Andy, if I remember rightly. Stephen Price is saying I'd love to see a 3-5-1-1. Who's your 1 and 1 up the top? Obviously Vardy's your 1 at the end, but who would you have behind Vardy, Stephen Price? I'm guessing it would be Maddison just there. Sam Perkins is saying Albrighton and Barnes both should start against Spurs. Terry's saying, please, 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 no more double central defensive midfielders. I'll have a word, Terry. We won't do it again. Terry Payne is saying Mark Albrighton should be one of the first on the team sheet every game. Most fans think Mark Albrighton should be in there. Would you have Mark Albrighton in there, Will?
Yes.
Yeah, well, even Will would. Even with Will's lack of knowledge, he would have Mark Albrighton in there. Anthony Beebe is saying let's do everything opposite to what we did on Saturday. Brett saying Barnes is a must. Chris Ward is saying Albrighton and Barnes definitely. Anthony Beebe saying Phil teams know how to hit us fast, get ahead, knowing that we won't be able to break them down. Which I think is quite right. Now, Will, frantically cutting those. Let's do this, the pizza draw. So the question was, with Will's scarf, which I'm going to quickly borrow, back again. So, in 1992, we played, and I'm going to double check with Will, but my memory is, we played Blackburn Rovers at Wembley. That was the first time I went to Wembley ever, 1992. I was like 8 at the time. A bit older. Wasted all my life to go there, and then we went about 7 times in 6 years or something. But it was Blackburn Rovers. It was, sadly, David Speedy diving little cheat, and it was a dive, and if we had VAR there, we'd have all known that was never a penalty. Although if you were in the 40,000 Leicester fans at Wembley that day, you could see the little diver fell over. Cheat fell over, as the song used to go. And then I take it, was it Mike Newell scored the penalty?
Yeah.
Mike Newell scored the penalty, and we did go on to sign him actually. And Speedy, yes, David Speedy actually. David Speedy playing for Leicester they were both good players, Mike Newell and David Speedy, but that's who it was. I'm going to do the finger of scroll and just go back. Well, it's just checking if anybody else has had a go on the raffle, and then we'll do that one. So I am just literally going to scroll until I see somebody who said Blackburn. Flicking it back, and it is, let's see, trying to find somebody, a lot of you said it, Stephen Price. Stephen Price said it. Well done, Stephen. You've won 2 pizzas thanks to our pals at Peters. Don't forget, thanks to all the sponsors as well, just before we do this draw. Emergency Glazing Services, Pink Vehicle Services, Everard's Tiger, ADT Taxis, Hologram, Fox's Arms, Harlow, Geek, and of course our charity that we support all the time, Bodie Hodges. They've been doing some great stuff. Go and follow all those guys if you can. Will, are you ready to do this draw?
Yeah, let's do it.
Finally, right. This is for the shirt.
For the shirt. So we've raised up to now £425, so that's brilliant. Thank you very much for your support.
Massive thank you. 425 quid you guys have chucked into the pot for the Leicester Royal Infirmary. And it's going to the near... Oh, he's dropped one. He's dropped one. No, you can't see who it was. It's not that one. Wait, give it a good rattle. This is called like drawing it out. People will want to go because they want to watch Love Island, Will, or whatever's on at 9 o'clock on a Monday. It could be Peaky Blinders.
Love Island.
It's not Love Island. Right, he's doing it. Now, you're not allowed to look.
Okay,
you need to put the scarf... You can't look. You've got to completely...
I'm not looking, look.
He's not looking. This is it. This is who he's going to draw out to win this shirt. And if it's my name... I've had a go.
It is Martin Jarrod.
It's Martin Jarrod, one of the guys you've handwritten it, so that's somebody who's only just had a go.
He entered tonight, just before the show, so that's brilliant. There you go, Martin.
Well done. So Martin Jarrod has won the Leicester City signed shirt. Now, Martin, if you're watching, inbox us. Although, Will, you've got everybody's email details, haven't you? From the
not off that, so it does. They do
we will contact. Well, we'll get in contact with Martin. But if you are watching, Martin, put in the comments. Let us know. So that's a signed Leicester City shirt for Martin. It is the 2 pizzas for. Are you not listening?
No.
Stephen Price. It's Martin Jarram. Is it? Yeah, Martin Jarram. He is watching. Let's have a look. There he is. Martin, you've just won. That's going to be your shirt. It's going to be
Jarrod. You're saying
Jarram.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, it's Jarron. Jarron. It's the same thing. We've got you, Martin. It's you. You've won it. Inbox us and we'll get your shirt off to you. Well, Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday. Now you've finished doing the draw. You've just cut up 425 names.
Yeah.
What do you think about Saturday playing Spurs?
Well, it depends. I think if we play to our strengths and not play to the opposition like we did at Man United by the looks of things, I think we've got a good chance of winning. But it depends. If he starts saying, "Oh, what about Kane? What about Son?" and we need to play, defensive, then I think we're going to end up losing or drawing again.
I worry that Brendan Rodgers does, and I'd be interested to know what you guys think. But I do think Brendan Rodgers does. He is a tactician, and he is looking at the other team. And sometimes you think, I think we've got one of the best sides in the country.
Won the league, we knew what we were doing, we knew what the team was, and we just got on with it. It didn't matter who we were playing, whether it was Bournemouth or Man United. We just
played
did
the
it.
same.
We played the same. Everyone knew what we were doing, and we just got on with it. I think we've got the team now to go to teams like Man United and Spurs and just say, no, we're going to play our own way, and we'll at least we know we've gone out and played the way we want to play, rather than messing around with the team and sticking players out of position to try and play the team in tactics rather than actually how we like to play.
I'd probably say we've got a better set of individual players than the year we won the Premier League, but I'm not saying we've got a better team.
I think Brendan's still, I'm not saying messing, but he's definitely tinkering with it. I think he just needs to stop messing around and just pick the team that he wants to put out, the best 11, which is what Ranieri did, wasn't it? It was the best 11 played regardless.
Score predictions, and don't forget, get your score predictions as well. First goal scorer, correct final score, Will?
I like to say 2-1 to Leicester.
And first goal scorer? I'm sorry, it's hard work with Will. He's not all there, bless.
Vardy.
Vardy to score, 2-1 to Leicester.
Yeah.
I think, well, let's hope so. But Spurs will be decent, won't they? I'm always going to go for Vardy, I think, because he is the most likely to score, because we don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go 3-2 to Leicester.
I think they're definitely going to score. Just I think if we can play to our strengths and counter, then there's every chance that we can win. Last
few score predictions from the people who've been watching. Stephen Price says, well done, Stephen, for winning your pizza. It says 3-2 to Leicester with Maddison. Mick Paget saying 3-1 with Tillemans. Darren Daz Eden saying, we know Why Gray don't pass? He can't pass a ball. Neil Yoxon is saying playing away. Rogers plays it safe. At home he goes for it. Mark Gatwood is saying he'd rather watch Demarai Gray than Love Island, and that's saying a lot. 3-1 to Leicester says Tom Hoger with Vardy to score first. Chris Newbury saying Kane will be in Soyuncu's pocket all game. Let's hope Soyuncu doesn't dive in again.
Yeah, I think he needs to learn his lesson from that, doesn't he?
He has dived in a couple of times this season and got away with it. So let's see what he does. Listen, everybody who's been watching, thanks for all your comments. Thanks for Will for coming.
Yeah, and thanks for everyone for your support. It's really great. Thank you.
It is great. That was £425 you lot have raised for the Leicester Royal Infirmary neonatal ward. Will, you might as well get your plug in as well. You're doing a barn dance on Saturday, aren't you, to raise more money?
So that's follow on Saturday. We're doing barn dance and a live band and a bar and raffle. So hopefully we can make that 425 close to the £1,000 that is on.
And that's in Hathorn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to come to a barn dance, get in touch with Will. All right, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you before Saturday. Goodbye.